So you mentioned that we're all connected. All of us are connected on this planet at this time, but I also am a history buff, and I believe that we are all connected to our ancestors, and it's human history. It's not one person's history. And my thoughts are that this phenomenon, whatever it is, has been interacting with our ancestors in some way, shape, or form. More so now, it seems that we've discovered some things that go boom, really, really, really big. Are there any artwork or any information from past civilizations, ancestors, that you find highly compelling that would lead you to believe you've been interacted with?
There's a tremendous amount of anecdotal information that exists. I'm not going to go too far down the road of speculation because I don't want to mislead anybody. Obviously, my personal views and opinions are just that, they're mine. And I don't expect anybody to subscribe to that, and nor would I necessarily want that to happen. But I think, let me put it in the words of my good friend Chris Mellon. We spend millions of dollars each year looking for microbial life on Mars. We spend millions of dollars each year looking for technical signatures, radio signatures from within our galaxy of intelligent life. We've been here for approximately 4.5 billion years already. Well, let me ask you this: what if intelligent life already found us first?
It makes sense.
That?
Yeah. Or they have been here for a long time. I mean, the ocean is huge, guys. I mean, come on. Yeah. I believe that there could be, whether or not it be under the water or on the surface. I mean, there are places in the oceans that we can't go. I'm not asking for any divulgence of information here, Lou. I'm just this is what I do in the podcast. I'm like, what if this? But I mean, there has to be a possibility that there's been a civilization on Earth.
And it's not even physical. I've said that. I may have said this once before, but I don't say it very often. Let me, for just a moment, put something into perspective. We have 5 fundamental senses for which we interact with our environment. Okay, touch, taste, hear, smell. That type of stuff. And if it falls outside of those primary senses, we can't interact with it. We can't even perceive it. Right now, we know there's a reality all around us that we can't perceive. There's Wi-Fi signals, and there's cosmic radiation, and there's gamma radiation. There's neutrinos coursing through our body, and there's GPS signals and radar coming from the airport that's going in and out of our body. And yet, we have no idea. Go out on a beautiful starry night one night and take a look at the heavens, and you're going to say that is magical. Now, look at that through a radio telescope. Right? Look at it and look at the infrared spectrum and the ultraviolet spectrum. And all of a sudden you see things now in the heavens that you could never see before. And they're right there. They're real. They're just as real as you and I having this conversation, but we don't have the ability to interact or to perceive it because we're not equipped as a biological species to receive and interpret that information. And then furthermore, let's look at the human being and where we are on the scale of the universe. Okay. So I can go in this direction, 13.5 billion light years to the farthest known portion of the visible universe. And I can go in this direction, 13.5 billion light years. So that's a distance of 27 billion light years from end to end of the visible known universe. And I'm stuck right here in the middle, right? And as big and as awesome as it may be, ready? From a scale perspective, when you look at the size of an atom, 1 times 10 to the minus 26, there is an equally, if not greater in scale, there's a universe just as big, if not bigger, inside every one of us going down. And the only thing that we can ever truly interact with is something maybe 5 to 50 feet in front of our face. So by definition, 99.99999% of the universe is beyond our ability to not only interact with, but to even perceive. And so for us to think that everything in the universe and all understanding and knowledge is going to fit right here in this neat little tiny narrow spectrum of what we perceive, you're fooling yourself. That just doesn't make sense, because the most of reality is it will never be able to interact with. And so is it possible there are species out there, intelligent life that live beyond that little tiny narrow spectrum? Well, the probability is very high that is indeed possible.